Welcome back, Richmond Public School 6th grade scholars. Today we're going to be doing a little writing in mathematics, so you're going to need a pencil or pen and some paper. We're going to first go through our independent practice to make sure we have those answers. So go ahead and get that information out from yesterday's lesson. So we're going to go over the answers, and you can check your answers with my answers, and hopefully we have the same solutions. So for number 1, our answer was F. And that one was very, fairly simple to complete. Number 4, our answer again is F, and you had to go through several steps. So it was starting at 30 feet below, which represents a negative 30. Then you rise up 23. So I solved that expression first, took my sum of that, and then I went down, which says sinks 17, which represents a negative 17, and added that to my previous answers, negative 7 plus negative 17, which gives me a sum of negative 24. And then it says you rises another 27, which represents a positive 27. So negative 24 plus 27 is equal to 3. So she will end up being, the dolphin will end up being 3 feet above the surface of the water. So great job if you got that one. The number 6 was maybe a little bit more difficult because you have this fractional third, 4 divided by 3 times 9 squared minus 2 to the 9th power. So the 2 to the 9th power and the 9 squared are both exponents. So therefore, we could have done those two first because there's no grouping. In this case, the 4/3 is a fraction. So it's a division, 4 divided by 3. So it's division. So we have our exponents. And I did 9 squared, which is 81. But then 2 to the 9th power, remember that means 2 times 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 2, which we do all of those gives us a solution of 512. So I wrote that out. Then, based on order of operation, it says we're going to do division, multiplication or division, whichever comes first. 4/3 is actually a division, 4 divided by 3. But it gives me 1.3, 1 and 3, and with the repeating decimal. So I just continued it out several times and looked at it multiplying it by 81, which gives me 108. Now, some of you may know how to do some additional mathematics when we take our 81, make it a fraction, and we, do that. But in case you didn't, I just wanted to go ahead and do it the general way. So that gives us 108, and we subtract that from 108 minus 12, which gives us an answer of negative 404. If you just placed in your calculator, or if you just placed on your form 1.3, we got an answer around 105 or so. And you might have taken that answer. It would have gave you a little bit less than 400, negative 404. However, it would have given you some, when you look at your answers, you knew it would have had to be somewhere in there. So we can use the approximation and estimation to get us closer to the solution that we know we should have. So good thinking on that one. So continuing on, the rest of these were fairly simple. Looking at number 8, our answer is G, just thinking about our zero pairs. Number 9, we're looking at the representation, and we're looking at having the 6 groups of negative 3, which gives us an answer of negative 18. So therefore, in this one, our answer is A. Okay. And then we have and again, think through the process. If we look at our answers, we know we ended up on a negative 18. We have 2 answers with a negative 18. However, if we look at C, it has negative 3 times negative 6 right there. 2 like signs. When we're doing a multiplication, the answer should be positive. So that couldn't have been our answer, regardless of if you thought that may have been. So thinking about your rules all the time. And then number 10, select each number that can be placed in the blank to make the value of this expression a negative number. So you would have had to take each of those, again, how we continually talking about actually placing those numbers in, making a fold, doing a hot dog fold, making that sheet of 6, and placing each of your problems in each box so that you can have plenty of space to write it out. So I did negative 5 minus the negative 10. So when I write that out, I would get a positive number, Okay, so because -5 plus a positive 10 gives me a positive 5. So this is where you want to start thinking about which answers will work, writing them all out. -5 minus -5, again, rewriting as an addition problem, will give me -5 plus 5, which will give me negative and a positive. Inverse gives me 0. That couldn't be my answer. Then I keep on going. -5 minus -2, -5 plus a positive 2 will give me a -3. Yes, that will be one of my answer choices. Then I have -5 minus 0. Number minus 0 gives me that number back at the any property. So that's a -5. -5 minus 4. So -5 plus a -4 will give me a -9. That is also a negative number. And then 10. So -5 minus 10, rewriting it as an addition problem. -5 minus a -10 gives me a -15. So those will be my answers that I will select. -2, 0, 4, and also 10. So great job on your independent practice. And go ahead and put that away. So our learning objective for today, I will be able to use my knowledge of integers, integer operations, and my vocabulary to write a story. I will also be able to solve an integer crossword puzzle using vocabulary related to integers. So this is what you're going to do today. You're going to write a short fictional story using the following integers. And I just randomly selected some integers. -10, -2, 0, 5, 25, and 100. You want to write a minimum of 2 paragraphs. So if you want to write more, be my guest. Make it as elaborate and extravagant as you possibly can. You're going to use at least 5 of the vocabulary words from your notes package, which are found on page 30. Please be mindful that some of those words are properties that we may not have discussed, but you should be comfortable with understanding and knowing. Your story is going to contain at least 2 illustrations. So that's 2 drawings as part of your story. You're going to revise it, rewrite it if needed. And finally, you're going to read your story to at least 2 people. Hopefully they will have some questions for you, so be prepared for any questions that they may have. So you're going to pause this at this point. Go ahead and take the time. You should spend at least 10 to 15 minutes in, thinking about your story, writing your story, and coming up with meeting all the parameters listed in your story. So go ahead and pause this video, write your story out. Once you finish, you can go ahead and get started back with us. Well, I hope someone that you read your story to, if you wasn't able to read your story to 2 people at this moment, hopefully you would have been able to at least read it back to yourself or read it to someone else. And you had some great stories based on those vocabulary words. Maybe you can share those stories via email with one of your teachers, or you can share your story via email with one of your classmates. So, our second part of our lesson, thinking about writing or vocabulary in mathematics, is we're going to do an integer crossword puzzle. Then this link will be found in your daily lesson page for the day. But I'm going to also show it to you very quickly just so you can see what it looks like. The page actually looks like what I have here, but I want to just make sure you can see what it looks like when you go online. So if I click here, it's going to go to Math Goodies, and I'm sure a lot of you have already heard of this site. So we're going to go to Math Goodies, and in order for you to complete the exercise, you're just going to click here, and once you click there, whatever turns gray is the number that you're going to be putting up, and it shows red here. So this one says blank. Value is the distance of a number from 0 on a number line. What is that? And if we write this in, it's absolute value. It actually changes as I'm putting in those vocabulary. So that's what you're going to be doing for each one of these. You're going to use your knowledge of integer words, and you're going to fill this information out from this page. Okay. So hopefully that will be something fun that you can work on and understanding with your vocabulary where it is. And you should spend about 10 minutes. Probably no more than that. You might be able to finish more quickly. As you can see, there is a timer there. You can, just keep trying to, to see how fast you can go. You can challenge yourself. You can get creative and say, oh, I'm gonna try to level 3 and try, on the project just to figure out start with level 2. If you need to have some, beginning level, you can go down to level 1 as well. So the other thing, once you've done that, you're going to spend at least 10 to 15 minutes on your Dreambox account, as we do every day. You want to spend about 10 to 15 minutes in Dreambox. And once you finish that, we are done for the day. So you have done a great job with implementing some literacy in mathematics, especially vocabulary in your story. So I appreciate your time in doing that today. So we are done for the day. See you tomorrow. And tomorrow we will be continuing our work on integers. So we have Thursday and Friday to continue our work on integers. So I will see you tomorrow, and I hope you have a fabulous day.